Hey, it's Mr. Cowmedian, and today I will teach you 5 ways to confuse a British person. Before we proceed, here is what will happen if you don't subscribe. The first way to confuse a British person is to tell the truth when someone asks, "How are you?" Katie is pondering about what the future holds for Love Island when her gaze meets Adam's, who was just walking past to get some coffee. Both are now sad since they have just triggered a short but an unskippable cutscene. "You good?" asks Adam. As a matter of fact, Katie isn't. At the beginning of the week, her cat has died, and on her way to work earlier today, she noticed a man that resembled her ex, so she tried to run him over. Then she was involved in a police chase and crashed her car. However, being British, Katie knows that Adam doesn't care, so she just replies with, "Yeah, and you?" "Me too," says Adam. If you want to go against the system, you should spend 5 minutes explaining all of the specifics of your situation. The story should get a new layer of sadness every minute or so, and you get bonus points if you shed a tear towards the end. At first, this will make Adam feel annoyed, but as your story gets sadder, he will feel like an animal for trying to leave. Those that have no fear at all should try to advance to level 2. It doesn't matter whether you are a cleaner, an office worker, or the Prime Minister, majority of Britain shrouded in political correctness. Special exception is made for people up north because the rest of us cannot really understand what you are saying anyway. Police force also used to have a special exception, which now seems to have been revoked. If you want to use this method effectively, you need to make sure that you voice an opinion which would offend the left side of the political spectrum. For example, if you say that there should be 156 genders, you will get but a smirk. In this case, the judgment is silent. However, as soon as you say something more controversial, such as that you disagree with your local school for making kids do a mock gay parade, the judgment will be swift and deadly. Another thing you could do is to be overly familiar with strangers. British people really value their peace and personal space. If you do anything to disrupt their flow, it could cause a sudden onset of paranoia. If you do this well enough, a British person will lock themselves in their house and try to figure you out. They will try to remember all of the petty things they thought they have gotten away with, and try to work out the probability that you work for some secret government agency. Number 4, do not apologize. Imagine you are jogging in a public park next to a sign which clearly mentions that no bikes are permitted. All of a sudden, you feel a force that is stronger than the one in the latest trilogy of Star Wars, which causes you to launch into space at an altitude higher than that of a North Korean nuclear missile test. Believe it or not, but some Brits would go over to the bike rider and apologize for being in their way. That isn't what we are trying to achieve, though. Escalate the situation by shouting, "Can't you see where you are going, you plum?" Finally, British people will often make you an offer they don't want you to accept, just because it makes them look generous. So if you are ever offered the last biscuit in the tin or the last piece of cake, say yes.